Season 47, war number 11, and we are up against Legion. And this time my team will be Silk, Black Cat and Sunspot. I will be taking Path 5 in Section 1, Path 6 in Section 2, Shocker, Titania, Apocalypse and Bullseye mini-bosses, along with the Silk boss, once again using Silk. Now, Black Cat is a new addition to the team for this season, but unfortunately I only will be using her for a single fight, being the Photon after this one. Now starting off, we have an Chavez here on the Event Flow Knockdown and Right Back Added nodes, and I will be taking this fight with Silk. Now, she isn't the greatest for this specific node due to the debuff immunity significantly cutting down on her damage output. However, this is only a relatively weak Mystic Defender, so Silk shouldn't have any real problems. Now, normally on this node you should just be spamming knockdowns to get the protection down to increase your damage output, but when I'm using Silk here I usually don't do that, and the simple reason for that is if I do so I won't be getting those physical vulnerability debuffs, and that means the burst damage on my specials will not be as high. At least I think that's how it works. I haven't actually tested it otherwise, but since I haven't had any issues doing the fights this way, I see no reason to change my strategy either. Now, I did make a mistake there and I did get hit. Luckily, Chavez did not land a critical hit, so I will be able to use the auto evade for this special too. Had she landed a crit, I would have had to block the special, and I would have taken some more damage, but since she wasn't unblockable anyways, I would have survived just fine. The matchup itself was quite simple, and honestly, not much risk there either. Now next up we have a Photon here on the Event Flow Knockdown and Heavy Hitter nodes, and I am taking this fight with Black Cat. Now the game plan here is to basically treat this as a Battlegrounds match. I will not be going for any parries, just intercepting, sidestep and bait the special 1, and just rush the Black Cat special 2 for the Sabotage debuff. Now with the Sabotage debuff, you have the ability to lower the opponent's defensive ability accuracy by 100%, and what that does here against Photon is prevent those debuffs from activating whenever you hit her. It will not stop the debuffs you get from blocking hits, getting hit, or Photon throwing her special attacks. That's fine though, since she won't be able to use that many specials, so she will never have enough time to get to that pure light form, and I can nuke her down relatively quickly. And you can also see here that the protection never came back. The reason for that is if you use ability accuracy reduction to prevent the Fury from triggering from the Event Flow protection nodes, you actually never have to worry about the protection coming back, since the Fury never triggers, and the protection coming back is tied to the Fury expiring. So Black Cat just turns the node off, and then it's just a normal Photon fight. That said, Photon is still a tactic champion, but so is Black Cat, and even then, as long as she can't get the pure light form, you can literally take her with anyone. It's not honestly that difficult. Then next up we have a Sauron here on the Prowess Build Up Unblockable and Superior Specials nodes, and I will be taking this fight with Silk. Now, as usual, the game plan going in was to just do the special 3 rotation for triple Furies to nuke the fight down, but looking at my damage output here in the middle of the fight, I figured going for the special 2s instead would work just fine and save me some time as well. Now on top of that, the defender here is running the recoil masteries for whatever reason, and that means they will be taking a lot of recoil damage throughout the fight by spamming their own specials, which is fine by me. However, if I do get hit here at any point, I am almost guaranteed to lose. So Silk's auto evade is there to save my butt if that were to happen. Now a special 2 wasn't quite enough to finish him off, but I get some power back from the science power boosts, so I go ahead for a combo and a second special 2 to close it out. Fight lasted just under a minute, and Sauron didn't really get to do anything. The special 1 is easy enough to full dex while rooted anyways, but as I tend to say, Silk does have the auto evade in hand for if you ever mess something up. Then here we have a Werewolf by night on the passively special and prowess build up unblockable nodes, and I am taking this fight with Silk. Honestly, not much else to say about this one. Silk will just completely nuke it with a single special 2. Now if I happen to get any ruptures here from Werewolf, Silk has the ability to reduce the opponent's rupture effects durations by quite a lot, so even then the damage would be quite minimal. Overall, the fight basically has nothing going on for it against Silk, making her an excellent option for it. But even then, Werewolf isn't that difficult to fight on most nodes anyways. Then we have a Shocker on the Power Snack and one too many hits miniboss node, and I am taking this fight with Silk as well. Now, going in, my game plan was to just get to my special 2, manage his Vibro Shock charges by landing intercepts, and then just use the special 2 to nuke him down relatively quickly. Now, taking this fight, I definitely should have read up on his kit a little bit beforehand, because my understanding of his abilities clearly were not where they should have been. First off, my plan was to just manage the charges by landing intercepts when he has over 50 charges, and I thought that that was all there is to it, and he wouldn't be able to auto block if he doesn't have 50 of them. However, what I didn't realize was that the charge removal is not tied to intercepting. It is tied to interrupting his medium dash while he's unblockable, and since I got hit while he was unblockable, it is now on cooldown, and my intercepts are not removing the charges. For whatever reason I did not notice it in the fight, and I go for the same thing again. I go for an intercept, try to go for another one here, and I just throw my special 2 into the auto block a second time in the fight, and this time I get punished for it. Very hard, and these stuns, they last a long time. Too long for me to survive it, so yeah, due to my own stupidity I ended up losing my Deathless Season by simply not reading up on how a champion works, and yeah, that just goes to show that you really should read how champs work, especially if you're taking the fights in war. Even if you think you know how they work, just take the few minutes, read up on their kit and make sure you know what you're doing. Otherwise, something like this can happen, and it is very frustrating. Now, going in a second time, I decided to test out the heavy stun at the start of the fight. I did heal up, so I had the health to survive if he would have been able to punish me, and it turns out that the stun duration is long enough to actually utilize it, and I should have been doing that in the first place. Overall, the fight was very simple. All I had to do was just use basic attacks to take him down, and it would have been just fine, but I wanted to try to speed things up with the special 2, and I paid the price. Overall, honestly, the fight is very simple for Silk. I just suck, and that's all there is to it. Then next up we have a Titania on the Burden of Might and High Energy Diet miniboss node, and I'm taking this fight with Silk. This is a very simple fight. Silk can't gain any buffs, so the Burden of Might node does nothing, and all of her damage is physical based, so the High Energy Diet also useless. All that leaves is Titania's own kit with the defense tactic rooting me during her special attacks, but the special one is fairly simple to full dex even while rooted, so that is the game plan here as usual. Just play the special one over and over, dex it and just hit her until she drops, and I could go for the special 3 rotation here to completely nuke her, but I'm not gonna do that. I would just go for a couple special 2s instead, because, well, as good as the special 3 rotation is, I don't really want to do it every single fight I use Silk in. It just gets repetitive, and believe it or not, I do actually like playing the game and just locking the opponent where they can't do anything. I don't know, I just don't enjoy doing it every single opportunity I get. So a couple special 2s, the fight goes down, no issues there at all. It took just over a minute, a tiny bit of chip damage, but overall a very simple fight. I gotta say, Silk has been amazing for War, and well, I hope I get to use her in Season 48 as well, which has already started when I'm recording this video. I am very late, but I am gonna smash these out right here on this sitting, and we can get to Season 48 soon. And here we have an Apocalypse on the power efficiency mini-boss node, and I'm taking this fight with Silk. The game plan is the special 3 nuke rotation, but to get there, it's not that simple. Due to the power efficiency node, I need to bait a lot of specials due to special attacks only costing half of what they normally would, and that means a lot of unblockable rooted special ones here. Now, overall, I could be pushing Apocalypse to the special 2, but I'm not too comfortable fully dexing it, while rooted, I'm much more comfortable with the special 1, as you can probably see here, so that's what I'm sticking to. I did mess up a dex here already, which consumed my auto evade, so now I'm a little nervous trying to bait the other special ones. Luckily he didn't go unblockable, so I can just block it, get my evade back, and now I got my safety net, meaning that the rest of the fight is basically risk-free. Get to my special 3, get the first Fury there with my heavy attack, and now the fight is over. Apocalypse will be dead before he has the opportunity to do anything else, and that's about it for this fight. Surprisingly enough, he actually survived until I got to my special 2 and the first couple hits as well, so he was a very tanky defender, but even then, Silk's triple Fury rotation as a 7-star rank 3, while boosted, I don't think a single defender, even the tankiest ones, could survive it on most nodes. Then here we have a Bullseye on the Polka Dot Power and Stunning Reflection mini-boss node, and I will be taking the fight with Sunspot once again. I do have the White Magneto pre-fight here to give me passive parry stunts to allow me to play around the auto evade while Bullseye has a bar of power. Overall, the game plan is just get to my special 2 and then just nuke him with the mutant power back boosts. However, I make a slight mistake here. Instead of just going to my special 2 to begin with, I ended up dropping my special 1 for some more prowess for the special 2 to hit harder, and honestly, that was not a great idea. I've already taken a ton of damage, and now I'm gonna take some more from brute force, and yeah, I'm cutting it way too close doing this. I could have just gone for the special 2, cycled a couple of them, and the fight would have been over already. Getting the special 1 was way overkill, and it introduced way too many risks for this fight, and overall it was just a horrible idea. I have no idea why I did it, but going forward, having to take the matchup again, I will just stick to the special 2s. And now, once again, we have the final fight of the war, a Silk boss that I am taking with my Silk, and as usual, I have nothing else to say about this matchup, so either I will speak up once the fight is over, or if something happens, I'll probably comment on it, but overall, I'll just let this fight play out. And something did indeed happen here. I tried to go for a light intercept as I usually do, but the opposing Silk just walked up to me. I whiffed the light intercept due to that, and then I got comboed, which hurt a lot. She did also land crits, so the auto evade is now on cooldown, so I can't hit Silk and push her to her special one here. Otherwise, she could throw it, and I would have no way to safely evade it at least. I could try to go for a panic dex to try to get it, but that's honestly not even worth trying, so I just waited out, played around, danced around for a bit to wait for the evade to come off the cooldown before trying to land any more hits, and now at this point the fight is back on track and I will be getting it down without actually dying. So yet again, Silk boss goes down in Silk's hands, and overall the fight is not that difficult. The freak incident in that fight was very unfortunate and it could have caused a death, but that was still honestly my own mistake. Going for light intercepts when I don't need to is risky, and that kind of stuff can happen. I just have to accept it. As for the results, we did end up winning this war 14-9. This war was a lot closer than plenty of the other ones, but we still managed to get the win, even though we didn't play all that well once again.